Join me for today's deep dive. Just a heads up, this episode can be tough. We'll uncover the hidden role trauma plays in addiction. Understanding this link is crucial for recovery, revealing a complex web of causes and effects that can make or break our efforts to overcome addiction. Addiction affects millions worldwide and is often misunderstood as a moral failing or lack of willpower. But addiction is a disease, often triggered by trauma and other factors. Many struggle with addiction, not realizing their trauma may be driving their behavior. Trauma can take many forms, from childhood abuse to neglect, and it can deeply affect our lives. People who experience trauma may turn to addictive behaviors to cope with their emotions and seek temporary relief. This often leads to a cycle of addiction as the underlying trauma remains unaddressed. Trauma's role in addiction is often overlooked, making recovery much harder. As Dr. Gabor Mate points out, many people miss the trauma itself. Abuse and neglect are examples of traumatic events. Trauma is the internal experience that lingers after these events. These feelings must be addressed for true healing. By acknowledging trauma, we can create more effective treatments for addiction. This means addressing the complex links between trauma, mental health, and addiction. People who have experienced trauma may develop addictive behaviors to self-medicate and numb difficult emotions. For example, someone who experienced childhood abuse may use substances to cope with shame and anxiety. Others may engage in compulsive behaviors to fill the emotional void left by trauma. Different types of trauma can have unique effects on our lives, so understanding these differences is essential for effective treatment. For example, people with PTSD may need specialized therapy, while those who experience childhood abuse may need to process emotions in a safe, supportive environment. The connection between trauma and addiction is complex, requiring a nuanced understanding of the factors behind addictive behaviors. By exploring different types of trauma and their effects, we can develop a more compassionate and effective approach to recovery. I had a breakthrough when I realized my trauma was fueling my addictive behaviors. This insight was both liberating and, honestly, a bit terrifying, as it forced me to confront the root causes and take responsibility for my recovery. Sharing my story helps me process my experiences and support others facing similar struggles. As I explored my journey, I realized that true recovery depends on addressing the underlying trauma that often fuels addiction and keeps us trapped. Confronting our past and working through emotions in a supportive environment is essential. By sharing my story, I hope to inspire others to begin their recovery and seek help for addiction. The journey to recovery is never easy, but it's worth it. By acknowledging trauma's impact on addiction, we can begin to heal and move forward. This process really requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to face our demons. Understanding the link between trauma and addiction is essential for developing effective treatments and supporting those struggling with addiction. Recognizing trauma's role in addiction helps us create a more compassionate approach to recovery, one that addresses root causes and hopefully offers a path to healing and growth. If you've struggled with addiction or trauma, please share your story in the comments below. Subscribe for more content on mental health and addiction, and check out my video on recovery strategies for more insights and tips on overcoming addiction.